Hey everyone, this is Joe Burns, the Mind Op. Thank you for joining me for another Tahoe Talk. We are here at the park that I love to come to. Let me show you you never get to see the park. I should do these. There you go. That's just one little in the park. I love to bring the old Tahoe here because the dogs can just trash it, and they did yesterday. I tried to do this video yesterday, but yeah, there was just too much going on and they were a little excited and barking. So we're doing it today. It is a gorgeous day in Southern California. I hope you are, these times, these fall times, I do miss being back in New England and seeing the change of colors. But the weather here in Southern California is so absolutely gorgeous and amazing. And so love the coolness in the morning. Anyway, let's get down to business here. Let's talk about, again, the amazing week that so many of my clients had. And it's really interesting to me that there seems to be a theme that goes through the week. And so the theme that kind of went through the week, and we talked about this a little bit in the last Tahoe Talk, is this idea of, our survival self and our higher self and how quickly we get there. And this is basically what came up. Is a lot of my clients had an amazing week, or they had an amazing breakthrough, or something really awesome happened, but they didn't quite realize how well they handled it because they were still kind of stuck in this. Yeah, but at first I felt threatened, or at first, I didn't feel good about it, or at first, they know this concept of higher self versus, this survival self versus higher self that I talk about all the time. So this idea of our self-image, right? This idea of our old hunter-gatherer brain that we talk about all the time is always looking for threat assessment. We talked about that last week, right? Always looking for threat assessment. And so it's very natural that throughout the day, when stuff hits you, when that coworker comes at you, when your wife or your husband, maybe is just having a bad day or yells at you, your boss, or you're just having a bad day. So there's a number of ways that we want to address this. First, the ideal is to get to the ideal self, right? Not be in that survival mode, not be in caveman, cavewoman, hunter-gatherer mode. And that's great. But understand that is the function of that critical mind, that bouncer that we talk about. That is the function of our subconscious. The subconscious is a wonderful, I heard this great quote just recently, it is a wonderful servant, but it's a horrible master, because again, it's programmed by all of the stuff that's happened from our past. And we are building, as you hear Joe Dispenza talk about all the time, we are building this wonderful ideal self, this higher image of ourself, this self that we're growing into, this self that we want to become. The more we can be there, the more we can be in that flow state. Fantastic. So number one, the main thing that we can do is get there in the morning, right? We talk about this. You've heard me talk about the tools before. I just call it Gaia, gratitude, or just something that gets your high vibration going. Something, breath work, exercise, dancing to music, making love, whatever it is that's going to get you in that high vibration in the morning. And then I think if nothing else, just be in a place of gratitude, because that's a high vibration thing. You can't be low vibration when you are thankful. So I call it Gaia, Gaia. Gratitude. Then and again, I've done other videos on this, so I don't want to spend too much time on this, other than I want you to understand that the most important thing you can do is get on purpose in the morning as quickly as possible, so that you are that person all day long. So align to that. So I'm in alignment today. I am going to be that higher self all day long, so that when these things hit you, you are starting to see this. And the key the key thing that I want to get out to you today is this idea that when you are your higher self, you see opportunity instead of obstacles. I was just listening to this great Ryan Holiday. He's a great Stoic. He does a lot. He's a modern Stoic who does all these great things. I highly recommend you look him up. And he was talking about this story that he puts in one of his books about a Chinese emperor who thought everybody was kind of getting soft. I'm going to do it really quickly here because I don't want to, and he put a boulder in the middle of the road into town, and everybody kind of went around it. Everybody got stopped by it. And all these people dealt with it really, really horribly. They let it, they let it ruin their day. And this one guy comes along and picks up a stick, uses it as a lever, and rolls the boulder out of the way. And at the bottom is a note and a bag of gold coins saying, never let the obstacle become something that stops you, because there's always a gift in it. And in our higher self, we see that gift, right? So the best way to do that is get there in the morning and start your day that way. Gratitude, get in alignment with that. Set your intention. You're going to be that person all day long. I'm going to be my higher self. I'm going to be that person of influence. I'm going to be that person that's the adult in the room. I'm going to be there for other people like we talked about in the last video. And then affirm that and be aware all day long of when these things come up. So when we're that higher self, we see opportunity versus adversity. We see opportunity versus, or we see the opportunity in the adversity. So the obstacle becomes the way, as they say in the Stoics. And I love that. So the idea of this is as fast as you can get there when you realize you're in conflict or you realize you're not your higher self. And what was really beautiful is when I unpacked this with all my clients this week, whatever the situation was, they got there, right? They got there. They did the work that we talk about. Is this true? Is this serving me? What else could be true in this? And then finally, what's the gift in this? What's the opportunity for me to grow, to help this other person so that so that I can influence and I can help them get on path. And that also is going to affect and it's a win-win situation. And they all found these win-win situations. They all found that they got there. They were frustrated and didn't see it at first because they didn't feel they got there as fast as maybe they want. And I get that. We all want that. That's a very human condition, right? And especially a very modern human condition. We want it now, we want it fast. But the most important thing is that you get there. The more you stay in that higher self, as is this idea of flow state that we talk about, this idea of being in flow versus having to force things. The more you're in that higher vibration you, that higher you versus your survival self, the more it becomes a habit. The more you build this so you see those opportunities even faster. But what was beautiful is all of my clients, they got there. They did the work and they got there. And that's the thing at the end of the night that we talk about, as kind of the cap or the sealer in this, is then you got to give yourself credit, because that's telling your subconscious mind. That's making your subconscious mind the servant versus the master and saying, no, this is us. We handle our stuff. We got this done. We saw this as an opportunity. Maybe it took us a little bit of work to get there. Maybe it took a little bit of force versus flow. But the idea is the more that you do it, the more you get in flow. The more that you're in that place and you just build that habit of, and by the way, it feels amazing to be that higher vibration you. It feels amazing to be there and see the reactions of others or the responses of others, as we always talk about. So I invite you to get there in the morning, get on purpose through what we talk about. Be there all day long as much as you can, but understand things will happen that will send you back into survival mode sometimes. And then it's just about stop, drop, and roll. We've talked about that before, the old TSA from way back when you're on fire. Don't give it any energy. Just stop, drop it, roll on to something else, and roll on to higher vibrations so that you can be that person of influence. I hope this helped. Again, you can go to the Mind on Purpose if this is something, like, share, all that good stuff. But if you're looking to take it to the next level, get a hold of us, and that's what we do. All right. Thanks a lot. I hope you have a fantastic week.